Hello everybody, and welcome to another video of ScenBuilder. And let me just start Eclipse. There we go. We are all back in our Eclipse, and we are going to continue with our two scenes here, which is an application I started working on in the previous video of the ScenBuilder. And what we're going to do today is we're going to work on the main class to prepare that for some reason it's taking its time now. There we go. And we're going to prepare this class so that we can just load a stage, load a scene into a stage, and that we can load any scene into the stage whenever we want to. So and then we will set our buttons so that when we press on a button we will change the scene. And we did do that in the last video, where once it works, where we have created some labels and some buttons, and we did a little bit of styling within the scene builder. So just what we're going to do now is we're going to need to create a couple of functions, which is going to override some of this here text code, because we want to be able to sort of like just load our fxml scenes whenever we click on a button. So in order to do that, we're first going to create a private static scene, and I'm going to call it scene, just so that we've got it there. And we can basically get rid of these 3 lines of code here, because we are going to replace those lines of codes with the following functions that I'm going to create. So the first function is a static, and it's a void, and it's called we're going to set root, and this could be a public, this should be a public. Okay, because that's the one that's going to actually set the root, and it's going to take in a string, and we're going to call that fxml because it's the string path of the fxml that it's going to take in. So we're just going to leave that for there for now, because we need to create another function which we're going to use within that function. And that's basically going to be the load fxml function that's going to load the fxml document into our stage. So we're going to call this private, because this will not be accessed by any other classes. And we're going to use the parent class here, and we'll call this load fxml. And it's going to take in a string, which is going to be the fxml. So there we go. That's basically like this. And then this parent, we are going to import parent java fx scene. So you're going to need to have all the previous java fx things installed and things from the previous videos. And what it's going to do now, it's going to ask us for a return statement, which is the load fxml load, which we will now implement here. So we're going to say fxml, that needs to be lowercase, loader dot and this loader, and it's a fxml loader equals new fxml loader, and that's going to take in the main dot class dot get resources, and that's going to take in the fxml. I'm just going to concatenate a string there because I don't want to add, oops, let's just fix that. It's going to take in the fxml, which we pass through here, but what I want to do is I want to concatenate a string. So that string, and I want to set dot fxml because I don't want to write the dot fxml every time that I import them. Good, and then now we need to return our loader, so return fxml loader dot load. It's as simple as that. And now what it's going to do is going to ask us to add with a surround sound here, right? Surround with a try catch. I don't know. Sorry, my head's kind of like baby head in the clouds at the moment. So add throws declaration. We'll just do that. So we've got that there. Okay. And now what we got to do now is we've got to use this fxml scene loader inside our static public void. And the way this is going to be is we're going to use the scene that we've created up here. So we're going to set our scene. So scene dot, and we're going to set root. There we go. And this is going to be the load fxml function that we've just created down here. Load fxml. And that's going to ask us for the string, which, lo and behold, is fxml. So, and now it's going to ask us to do the same thing here because we need to add the exception, and I'm just going to say throw exception, and then all our errors have marvelously disappeared. Okay. So now what we got to do is we got to now load this function into our primary stage. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to now say that our scene is now a new, not new, but new scene, and this is going to take in the load fxml because we're going to load the sample first. Sample, and I'm not going to type in .fxml because, as you remembered here, I have passed, I've concatenated the .fxml string there, so we don't need to do that right there. So and then what we can do is we can set some parameters for our stage, and we will just do it like that. I think I need to add a comma here just to get that all straight. Yep. So that's basically just the size. Now if we want to test that now, we can go ahead and test that. We'll just save it, and we are going to just go here and say run as Java application main. Okay, and I'm going to take the latest one because that's the one we've done. And there we go. You can see, wait for it all to catch up. There we go. And you can see that this is our stage, and I've named it our stage because it is not actually seen. It is our stage. That was kind of like a hidden gem I threw in there just to keep you on your toes. And that's the primary stage title, because it's actually not scene. This is scene 1. This is scene 1. It has got its own title, and so it's our stage. So when we're going to click this button, we're going to still state our stage, and we're just going to change the scene, which is in fact the next step to do. So that we need to do within our ScenBuilder. So if we go to sample fxml and we open with ScenBuilder, there we go. Already, and here this does say to, let's just open that to scene 2. Okay, so let's just whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. So we can just basically see what it says on the button there. So we need to select that button, and then we need to go down to code, because in here we need to say on action. So this is when it action. So when we click on it and we say to scene 2. So there we go. So if we then say file and save that, we are now going to end up with a little bit of a problem. Okay, just wait for it all to catch up. If we go into scene 2, you will see now that see sample. There we go. You see here we've got an on action now. Yep, and it says to scene 2. So we just need, and if we click on that, it says the controller sample controller, which is the sample controller that we stated here. This has no event slot to scene 2. So what we need to do is we need to create this event slot. I'm just going to copy that in our sample controller. So if we then go into our sample controller, there we go, and we say that we need to add the @fxml in there, and we need, let's leave that there for now, and we're going to say private void. I'm going to paste that so that we've got that add action just right there. So now what we can do is we can import fxml, Java fxml. So that's now imported. And then in order to make this button do what we want to do, we now need to call this public function in our main class. So it's in our sample, no, that's the fxml one, it's in our sample controller. We have to say, excuse me for that, main dot, and we're gonna set our set root, and that of course needs to be the string, and the root that we want to set that to is the scene. Let me just get my spelling right here, scene 2. And I'm not going to write the .fxml because we need, in order to write the .fxml, it's going to just cause us problems, because if you remember I did concatenate that in that string of the setRoot function that I created in the main class. So here I'm just going to add the throws declaration, and that all goes away. So if we want to test this now, we can run that. And if we click that, we go to our scene 2. Nothing happens when we click back, and there's a couple of secrets for that, which I'm going to reveal in my next video, because this video is getting on a bit. So the next one will be a bit shorter. I hope this was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe and all those fancy things on YouTube, and wish you a happy coding.